is going on? How is everybody doing? Welcome to Milan News. Forza Milan, Forza Milan. The only two words that matter. Antonio's here with me. What's up, Antonio? How you doing?
Doing really good, Roy. I'm waiting for a nice Mercato week for once this Mercato because it seems like we keep waiting for something to happen, and I hope today or this week something will finally happen.
Well, yes, this looks like it's going to be a busy week. If everything goes according to plan, of course, because we know that this Mercato so far has been beginning of next week. Beginning of next week. So I think this is going to be finally that week where we start to see things happen. Let me say hi to everybody in chat. We got Orlando Santos, we got Christian, we got Udit, we got Asen, we got Nathan, we got Majideen. How is everybody doing, guys? Welcome to Milan News. Forza, 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 Milan. All right, Antonio. So listen, the first article I want to talk about is what Gazzetta dello Sport wrote here. Milan hoping to include 4 negotiations in the next week. 1 is done, 3 to go. So let's see what they're talking about. Gazzetta dello Sport report that the first thing to be completed should be Zlatan Ibrahimovic's renewal. Now, this was from yesterday. The
Yeah.
Swede will sign tomorrow, but it is possible that the official announcement will be postponed to Tuesday. But we did get the official announcement today. So Ibrahimovic is officially an AC Milan player for one more season at AC Milan. He sacrificed a big chunk of his wages. I think it goes down to 1 million, right, for the season plus bonuses. So he's leaving a lot of room for wages to be used elsewhere. Are we
Right.
happy with this? Do we like this? Antonio, you tell me. What do you think? And then I'll give you my opinion, and then I want to hear the chat.
I definitely like this. Like I said, this is a very good idea because you're bringing him in, and the only negative about bringing him in is having to pay him his wages. But now we sort of figured out, even though yes, he still has a bit on our wage bill, we still have a very reasonable agreement where we can add bonuses and reward him for him actually playing, but we still get his personality and his charisma in the Milanello environment and with the team. So that's always a big plus. And like I always said before, if you can have this winner on your team, if you can have a leader, and for another year just to have him around, it's only going to help. So I can't see how it's going to hurt us, and it's going to keep helping even the new arrivals that come in and keep building and keep developing these young players. So it's always good. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm very happy with Zlatan re-signing. You know, he is the alpha wolf of the pack.
Yeah.
So the pack can't be successful unless they have their alpha wolf.
Yeah,
So
and I do want to say this. Yesterday, I was watching this video. I think Milan posted on their YouTube channel, and it was like it was Mario Suma like reacting, but it also showed all the goals of like the Serie A campaign. And I watched actually the whole thing. It was like almost like 30 to 40 minute video. I was watching because I was pretty bored. And I noticed like not only Messia scored a lot of big goals, just call it out, but Ibra, even though he didn't play that much, he had some really important goals in the Serie A season. Like even having him, like my dad always says this, like in this many months he's coming back, guys. So when he does come back, he's going to contribute however he can. And when he comes onto the pitch, he's a quality striker. He's probably like the highest quality player we have on the team easily. And class doesn't really go away. So if you can have him for however long, you got to use him. So it's always going to help us.
oh, 100%. I mean, I think his record this year was incredible. Even though he missed half of the season, I can't remember exactly how many games he scored. I don't remember his numbers, but in goal ratio to goal to games played was excellent. Even for him at this age. So not only is he going to keep on contributing in the dressing room like he always does, but he is going to contribute on the field also once 2023 comes along, and that's when he should be scheduled to get back on the field. So yeah, Zlatan is always going to be important to this team, whether he's playing or not. So it's incredible to have him. Okay, so let's see. Aziz says we're going to talk about the Bakayoko incident for sure. I'm happy to have Zlatan for one more year. Majidin tells I still want Belotti. Ibra will not play more than 10 games. Well, we'll talk about that too, I guess, today. But let's keep on going with the article, and then we kind of just do a little bit of, we'll do a little bit of the thesis on everything that is going on. Then the plan is to close the deal with Club Bruges for Charles de Ketelaere, given that an attacking midfielder is currently the number one objective in order to strengthen the attack available to Stefano Pioli. Charles de Ketelaere, I was really hoping for something today. I was really hoping that the moment I would have woken up, we would have some official news. We do not have that. Everything has kind of gone quiet with Charles de Ketelaere today, right now, in this current moment. It's still kind of the same thing, but if you ask me, is Charles de Ketelaere coming to Milan? What is the percentage at this point? I am confident to say 99%. Yeah. What do you think, Antonio?
Well, based on what happened to other players, I'm not ever going to be that confident again. But, I mean, so he just finished. He didn't play anything with Bruges. I think he spoke to the Club Bruges fans yesterday after the Super Cup game that they won 1-0. He didn't play at all in that game. I don't know what was said exactly, but I think it kind of looked like I don't know. I don't want to dramatize this, but it was sort of like he looked like, it was a little emotional, but we'll see. Maybe he's kind of signaling that he's going to be leaving. We already have a big bid on the table, and we're expected to raise that to almost 35 million, and that should be enough to seal him. But yeah, we're just waiting for that to happen and to just sort of iron out the last touches. But that could be happening right now as we speak. And then we just get the announcement when it's over. So, I would say there's definitely, I would say at least an 80% chance, but more like an 85%. But I don't want to be too I don't want to say 90% and then something happens. I don't want to risk that. But yeah, it's very, very. It's becoming more and more likely.
Yeah, we're going to look at those numbers later on. We're going to look at the details that have been reported. And the numbers are suggesting that at this point, the player is very close. Very close. Here there's an interesting comment here by Aziz. He says, okay, so about CDK signing, he did say goodbye to the fans of Club Bruges, so I had to watch highlights of him playing against so many teams and saw all of his goals. And I have to say, I'm not happy. I gotta say, CDK is a very strange phenomena. His highlight reels, all of them look really poor. But listen, to give you guys some solace, all right? Yesterday, for some reason, I watching Castillo.
Roy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry to interrupt, but yesterday, you know what's crazy?
What?
I thought you were going to say I started watching Ketelaere, but yesterday I watched a whole game of Ketelaere because I had nothing to do yesterday. But yeah, you finish what you're saying, and I'll tell you what I think.
Okay, so I was watching Castillo highlights, and we as Milan fans, we know who Castillo is, and we know what he contributed to the team, and in his highlights, he looks amazing. He's doing little flicks, he's doing dribbles, he's doing passes. So it is very strange. If honestly you had never seen CDK or Castillo play a full game and you just watch the highlights, you would think that Castillo is a million times better than the CDK guy. So if the CDK highlights are truly an anomaly because most people that watch his highlights are like, "What? Really? This is the guy we're after?" Because they don't look impressive at all. But you saw his full game, so what did you notice?
Yeah, not only that, I saw the full game with my father as well, so I had his opinion too. Okay, so I have a couple takeaways from. I watched the first. I watched all the highlights of Bruges' group stage this year, and then I watched one full game, and it was Bruges, the first game in Bruges in Belgium, and it's Bruges versus PSG, and they were playing at home with all their fans. It was a good game. It ended in a 1-1 draw, and the first goal was Mbappe assisted, Ander Herrera scored, and then De Ketelaere wasn't involved in the goal. Well, he was. He basically made a run. He didn't get a goal or assist, but he made a run, and it pulled the defender away, and then another player ran in behind and then scored basically at an open goal. So, yeah, he was involved. But In terms of the play, there's two main things that I got from him. Number one, this guy is like the definition of versatile. Like if you watch him play, he basically like when Bruges was without the ball, he would basically stay as like a number 9 pressing the center backs. But he's not the fastest player, not the best presser. I'm not saying he's like amazing at that, but I'm just saying he's really comfortable in that forward area, like center forward. Then at times he would go over to the right wing and he would help like when they especially when they had the ball, he would help like build up from the right. He's left footed, so it's kind of natural. He had a lot of really good touches on the ball and good passes forward. And other times he also tracks back and defends like when they're countering and stuff, he's defending, he's actually almost on his own box, like sort of trying to get the ball. And he's fighting for those tackles. So he's definitely very, very versatile. And he also has really good, like I said, when he gets the ball, I mean, in the beginning, he was a little bit shaky, like the first 10 minutes, but it was just like the first Champions League game of the season. So, it's expected. Against PSG, Messi was playing, all that stuff. But then as the game went on, his touches on the ball were really good, and he had his good touch, and he kind of knows what to do. He's a good playmaker. He knows how to like set up his teammates. There's that. But I will say this is when I was watching Bruges, Noah Lang, like I know not only like yes, based on the highlights, he looks better, he's very flashy, but in the Champions League, Noah Lang made more of an impact. Like Noah Lang was getting like almost like getting assists, and in other games he did. He's shooting more, and the Ketelaere, I mean, it could just be that game, but Noah Lang looked more lively from what I saw. And I think, but the Ketelaere, I think, has more of like, he's less flashy and he has sort of like class, and he's been, praised a lot in Belgium, in the Belgian league, and he's won like, the next young player, things like that. So I think maybe over like the long term, the Ketelaere can kind of prove his worth more than Noah Lang. I'm not saying that Noah Lang's better, but in the Champions League, from what I saw, Noah Lang looked more exciting, I would say. And De Ketelaere was just kind of like a practical sort of forward player who was pretty good, like I have to say. So he's not really flashy, and his highlights aren't like going to be amazing, but he definitely is a competent player who can, he definitely has quality. I will say that. Like I think he'd be very impactful, useful.
Well, he better be if with the amount of money we're paying. But I do think they obviously, Massara is one of the best at his role in Italy. Maldini has made it clear that he knows how to. He has an eye for players, and that whole team has an eye for players, and they barely get anything wrong. This one here is high risk though, because it is going to be the player they will have spent the most. But oddly enough, every time people talk to me about, hey, I just saw a Bruges game, every time they say Noah Lang was the one that stood out, not the CDK. So this theme keeps on reoccurring even with you today. It is strange that Noah Lang was pretty much. It almost seemed like he was a done deal in the beginning of the Calcio Mercato. Yeah, Nathan also has been saying that. Just say Lang looks better than CDK. It's okay to be blunt, Antonio. Everybody keeps on saying this. Every time I hear this, except for one man. You know who that man is, Mr. Hans. Hans will not say that. But let's see what will happen with CDK, because it looks like he's going to be joining Milan, and this is the player they have targeted. So let's see what he does. We can only wait and see. Okay, there's a few comments here. Here, Majidin says, I think CDK is the perfect camp for Pioli's system. Now, based on what you saw, Antonio, in this game, first of all, I don't know, maybe I missed it, but what position was he playing? And is he going to be playing in the cam role, or is he going to be used as a striker or as a right winger, based on what you saw?
So the thing is with him, like based on how the team was set up, he was playing as a striker, and him and Lang were up top. Sometimes Lang is more on the wing, and it's just him. But yeah, he was basically like listed as a center forward striker, which is crazy. Then, in the game itself, like I said, he shifted over to like all different parts of the field, mainly the right wing center forward spot, and he would drop back into the midfield a lot. so central right-sided player on the pitch, basically. And he basically, like I said before, when the team didn't have possession, when PSG had the ball, he was sort of like just basically as a center forward would be, like he's placed near the center backs, trying to like bother them a bit. And there was a couple of plays actually where he did cause them trouble. He won the ball and was fouled, so he didn't do some good stuff there. But he's not the fastest player, so he won't be the best at pressing. Like he wasn't always. I mean, most of the game he didn't really make too much of an impact by pressing. But then, when his team had the ball, he would kind of move over to the right side of the pitch and try to help the build up from that side, or he would go back and like sort of into the like center area and try to do work there. Um, yeah, he's good at making runs into the box, and he's very good at passing. He's had a couple of good passes, like into the box, into some dangerous areas. Another game, Noah Lang almost scored like a bicycle kick goal. Actually, no, it was this game. He almost scored a bicycle kick goal because CDK like curled the ball over to him. It was, I mean, I think he's like by cam, like I think he can play cam because he can play center forward, but he also drops back a lot. So that's kind of like what we need and he's also a good playmaker. So I think it's what we need from a cam, I guess.
All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. Aziz says he's very slow in taking decisions. Also, I can say that he scored 11 goals that are very easy. So I guess you're talking about like tap-ins, and 3 goals that are good. But he's defensively good and has good quality with his head. Okay. Nathan says just say. Oh, I already read that. I would love to get Lang. Omari Thompson says I think Milan pull out of Nolan because of his attitude. His attitude definitely raised a few red flags. Some people didn't mind it, others did. CDK and Lang are very different kind of players. Yeah, I'm guessing one is definitely flashier than the other, and I think that's why the Lang probably. His football is more highlighted because he's flashier. I think we should get both of them, to be honest. It would help with settling in, and their connection is already very good. And we're going to talk about that because we have to talk about Rebic too. There was an article about Rebic that we'll be looking at. So we're going to talk about that. CDK didn't play last game. He was on the bench because of the transfer rumors. That was also a very good indication of what could possibly happen. Will Roma make top 4 with Dybala this year? We're going to talk about that too when we get into Serie A news. If Juve get Bremer, they're winning the league, says Safe. What you're saying is exactly a cam, Fangbue says. Okay, all right, so let's keep on going with the article. In midfield, Milan are expected to try again for Renato Sanches, who was one step away from the RossonARI until the emergence of interest from PSG. The player now wants 5 million net per season, while PSG could guarantee him a central role with Christopher Galtier and Luis Campos. Milan have bid 12 million, while Parisians are yet to make an offer. Finally, okay, and then we'll go to that one. The PSG thing looks like, the Renato Sanches thing today, it's hard to say what's going to happen. Because the thing is that right now we all believe that this deal is finished, it's over, Renato Sanches is not coming to Milan. But and everybody that follows the Mercato, you see one day from another things can completely change. So maybe there is still, let's call it hope for Renato Sanches there. What we know right now is that Lille have accepted Milan's offer, but they have not received either a concrete offer from PSG or they have not accepted their offer, while Renato Sanches has accepted personal terms with them, but not with us. So, we'll see what happens. Renato Sanches is still open. There's not much to say about Renato Sanches today. At this point, I don't think we can really have concrete opinions on what's going to happen. This one is going to be... Milan and PSG are probably going to contest for Renato Sanches for a few more weeks. This is what I'm guessing. But that's all I have for Renato Sanches. Antonio, what do you think is going to happen with Renato Sanches? And guys, in chat, what do you think about Renato Sanches? It's not the first time that players are being contested by two teams and then they kind of, fall off the graces of the fans. But then eventually, if Renato Sanches does say yes to Milan, then we all love him again, So, what do you have for Renato Sanches?
I personally think that right now Milan is not going to be increasing their offer because Milan does not play these games like
When
if
you
a
say sorry, when you
sorry,
say
I mean increasing their wage offer
okay,
to Sanchez. Because Milan doesn't really play these games. If he's doing this as a tactic, to try to, he obviously I think would at this point he prefers to go to PSG, and Milan's not going to just raise their wages for someone who doesn't want to come to Milan. So I think that um, it's going to be deadlocked, and I'm predicting this. Basically, it's not a PSG because they have the money to pay to make an offer that like is greater than 10 million for Sanchez, but it's really down to how like who else they bring in because I don't think Sanchez is their first choice midfielder. Like what I said, I think Thuram is their first choice midfielder, and also other players, other young talents. And Sanchez is like I think 25 now, so he's kind of leaving that sort of youth age. So I think they're going for someone like more, with higher potential, maybe. I think Sanchez has huge potential, but that's besides the point. But with PSG, they're going for different targets basically. And if they make an offer to Lille, it's down to them. Then he goes to PSG. If they don't, then he's going to start pushing for a Milan move at the end of the Mercato because this guy has to leave clubs this year, basically. Because Lille want to sell him because they have to because he's going to be free, I think, next year. I don't think he's one more year in his contract or two. I don't know. Sanchez probably wants to leave because Lille finished 10th in Ligue 1 this season. So he's not going to have any European football, and he's going to be sort of just playing in Ligue 1 as a mediocre side, and they have financial issues. So I think that he's going to try to force a move out. And if PSG don't make an offer to the club, then he's going to try to force a move to Milan by the end of the Mercato. So because he's using this as a tactic right now. And at that point, though, the question is, do we still want him by then? Because we may pull out of our deal at that point because he's, acting like this. So that's the question. He may not even go to either Milan or PSG. So that's the thing because of the way he's playing it. So it's really risky and it's up in the air right now.
yeah, just one thing about Turam you mentioned. There was an article that came out, I think, today or yesterday that PSG has not been able to secure Turam, and that they're going back on the traces of Sanchez.
Yeah.
That article there kind of leads me to believe that maybe now PSG is going to be a little bit more serious about him. But at the end, you're right. It's going to go to I don't know if it's going to go till the end of August, but it might go up until the end of July, maybe even beyond that. It's definitely a game that the agent and the player is playing. He's trying to get the most money he can, and I mean, yeah, if that's what he wants. He wants more money. Then that's what he should try and get.
Yeah.
Question here from Aziz: if you have to choose between getting CDK for 35 or getting Sanchez for much less, then which do you prefer to have? Very good question. I'll go first. I don't know CDK too well. So for me, it's hard to say CDK. If I talk about potentiality, then CDK obviously is a potential target. One thing that I've never heard about CDK is that he is an injury-prone player. As far as I know, this is a player that doesn't get injured much. He's kind of like, as far as I know, maybe we can check the numbers. I'll do that when Antonio answers. That's as far as I know. I think CDK is similar to Kessie. He doesn't get almost never injured. So that is the downside, the pro in getting CDK. Now, people think that this guy is going to become the next De Bruyne. Okay, hell yeah, hell yeah. If he is the next De Bruyne, I'm all in. As far as Sanchez goes, I know Sanchez. I've been watching him for a long time. I love this player, the way he interprets football. Extremely technical, very aggressive, and he really helps the team play well in midfield. So, how about we get them both? I'd be happy with them both. If I have to choose one or the other, I can't tell you today because I have to see CDK play. I have to see him play. What do you think, Antonio? And in the meantime, I'm going to see what his injury history looks like. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really tough. I think Sanchez is a better player right now. Like there's a good distance actually between. I think Sanchez is very, very good. And he's also cheaper, but he's a bit older. CDK has much more potential. He doesn't get injured. So, like you said, it's a tough decision. They're kind of different players too. The CDK is more of like a forward type player, and Sanchez can be more of sort of a midfielder, even though they both can play midfield. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is this: it's like CDK for 35 million is supposed to be this huge prospect. It's like one of like the next best cam, basically. Like, I mean, there's not really that many young developing cams that are rated as highly as him, but he hasn't convinced me yet, like that he's worth that much money, and that is a bit concerning. Like, I haven't seen anything like world class yet from him, so that's something that like I that's the thing. So I think Sanchez. I'm not saying Sanchez is world class, but he has a lot of quality and he's shown it before. So I don't know if I can answer that, but I guess just because CDK can be like the next best thing, I would go for CDK. But it's really risky. Also because Sanchez is playing these stupid tactics with us, and I don't like that. But I love Sanchez as a player, so it's difficult.
Yeah, I'm not saying much about his injuries. I mean, yeah, there's not much on transfer market about his previous injuries. But anyway, we know Sanchez is quite a injury-prone player, and that is just something that it is a fact. He has been so far, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, now the last piece here is finally Maldini Massara will work on signing Japhet Tanganga from Spurs. The 23-year-old was already proed by the RossonARI in the last winter market after Chiara's injury, and he could arrive on loan with an option to buy. But Everton, Brentford, and Valencia are also keen. Now, today Milan News reported that Milan and Tottenham have reached an agreement over Tanganga, and Tanganga's agents are coming to Milano either today or tomorrow to finalize the deal for the player. So it looks like this is going to be the one. It looks like this is going to be the one. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, going from Botman to Bremer, then to Tanganga, who seems to be like a player that Conte doesn't rate, a player that has not been able to break through into the Tottenham defensive line. To me, this seems like a poor signing, but I'll reserve judgment until I see him play. So
Roy,
I'll put it that way. Go ahead.
Roy. So when you have a lot of time on your hands on a day, not only can you watch a whole Club Bruges Champions League game and do a lot of player scouting, you can also look at a bunch of additional players, and Tanganga is another player that I looked at yesterday. And I will say this.
Okay.
I'm not going to go crazy here. Like, I'm not like expecting that. The key is not to raise your expectations because you have to be realistic. But I totally understand why we're getting this player. Let me just say this. So I thought he was older. He's only 23 years old. So he's like the same age as Tomori. This guy, he's English as well, and it's an opportunity for us to, with these English players, if we can get once we bring them in, if we can get any performance out of them, their prices skyrocket. Like Tomori, they become super, super valuable, and we can definitely sell him off to maybe like even, let's say it doesn't become very like as good as Tomori, we can always sell him off to like maybe a mid-table English club or a promoted side for like a good amount of money and make profit on him if we buy him off loan. I'm just like speculating in the future. So he definitely is an opportunity financially because he shouldn't be too expensive. Now, as a player, I watched him. I didn't watch a full game that he had, but I watched like what some fans were saying and also some of his highlights and some of his performances within games, like single games, kind of clips that cut to what he was doing. And he has performed very well. He had some big performances against some of like the top English clubs like City and other clubs. And when I watch him play, he's very, and also how he's described, he's a very aggressive one-on-one defender. He's big, so he's kind of, that sort of English style that we've seen Like, and I think that I'm not saying he's Tomori. He's not like you can't have that expectation because Tomori was seamless the transition. But they're the same age. They're both English. They're both very aggressive. He's 6 feet tall. I think that's around the same height as Tomori. Tomori maybe a little bit taller, but I think they're like the same height. Uh, he also can play right back and center back. He's pretty fast. He has pace. I don't think he's as fast as Tomori, but he's fast. And he's definitely he's definitely financially affordable, and he's a fringe player on a top English club who's in the Champions League. Just kind of doesn't that kind of sound like Tomori? Basically, all of these things. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't expect him to be Tomori, but it makes a lot of sense why we're getting him. And yes, on your point of Bremer and Botman, he's not as flashy as those players. He probably won't be as good as those players. Probably, I say, because I'm optimistic that he'll be good. But he's like, if you can't get those two players, because it seems like Milan isn't willing to splash the cash for Bremer because we're looking to make attacking signings. It looks like. If you can't do that, then this guy is a really good opportunity. Yeah, pace is the most important thing. So, with all that said, I totally understand why we're bringing him in.
I mean, if this player has the qualities of, let's say, the Tomori and Kalulu that have really allowed us to play that high line, it makes sense. It makes sense. Again, I'm going to reserve judgment once I see him with AC Milan. But anyway, here is the article. It says, as reported by Sky, UK journalist Lyle Thomas, Tottenham would have accepted the loan formula for the transfer of Japhet Tanganga to Milan in this transfer window, a decisive step for the temporary transfer of a player with the two clubs that will now have to establish the numbers. Tomorrow, the agents of English defender should land in Italy to conclude the deal. So it looks like these are going to be our defenders. It looks like this is also similar to Decisive. Let's call it a done deal. And this is going to be our defensive line. So we're going to have Ketelaere, we're going to have Kalulu, we're going to have Tomori, we're going to have Tanganga, and then we have to see what happens with Gabbia. Gabbia, that so far maybe has had a very good preseason summer. But let's see what happens with Gabbia. Nathan says, just keep Gabbia. Maybe Gabbia is going to be sent out on loan. Maybe Gabbia is going to surprise us all, and he's going to get an important spot in the team. But this is just a loan. We'll see what the details are. Maybe it's a with option to buy. Maybe it'll be similar to the Tomori deal. Because maybe Tottenham wants to send him out, give him some experience, and give him some different different kind of football, especially in Italy where defense is very important. And maybe Tottenham still wants to bank into Tanganga. We'll see what happens. But I'll reserve judgment till this guy is actually on Milan and we see him play. Because one more thing, because Dino Rustic says this, which is true. Tanganga is okay. This also means Kalulu-Tomori partnership continues. And honestly, when I heard first about Tomori news, I was disappointed. Oh boy, how wrong I was. So, with this Milan, these kind of scenarios are very possible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that with Tanganga, let's not jump the gun a little bit because, yes, it looks like some reports are saying an agreement has been reached, but we still have to. I mean, I know Di Marzio, he's very reliable. He did confirm that there were talks going on, and this is very real, and that they're making progress. But I don't know if he's officially confirmed that an agreement has been completely found. So let's wait a little bit. I don't think it's that high yet, the percentage, but it looks like it's the most realistic option right now.
Yeah. Of course, nothing. It's not official yet, so everything can change tomorrow. Yeah, it's just maybe the closest one. Flowing Boy says Tanganga will solve any backup problems in our defense. He definitely is a good sign-in. Asen Lewis says, I'd send Gabbia on loan. AJ says, sì, grazie, scusi, non parlo italiano. Okay. Maldini's throwing a Hail Mary on this guy, hoping it works.
Yeah.
Sell Gabbia with a buyback clause.
Scouting, too.
What do you mean?
Look at his stats, and also, it's not just Maldini who has to approve, but it's the scouting department who, like Tomori, they were this is a great opportunity to sign this guy. Like let's look based on his stats and his financial situation. We can go after him, and I think it'd be a good investment, and we can maybe strike gold if we can if it works out. So that's what I mean. I think it's a great opportunity, and yeah, I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah, and another thing about Milan is that Milan's strength is the system, is the whole the team in itself, the project, the organization from top to bottom, the hierarchy of everything. So Milan does really feel like a project that whoever gets in there is going to be able to perform at the highest levels, because it is a team that is being built perfectly, and of course, under Maldini's eye, it can only be that way. So I am, at the end of the day, anybody who will join Milan is most likely going to be useful to the team, and is most likely going to have a very positive season with us. Again, we'll see if he joins, what he looks like with AC Milan, and if he has a great season, guys, then again we'll have to do that to Maldini and company for the work they're doing. Tanganga is very good for a bench place with Milan. Trust me, guys. We better get Jonathan David this winter, if not summer.
Hey Roy, you know what I
Yeah,
was thinking?
go ahead.
It's so funny. I mean, I'm not saying it's like doesn't make sense. It makes sense, but it's funny how on our current roster we have so many players like in the right back position. Like we have Florenzi, Calabria, Kalulu who can play there, and some Primavera players. And if we get Tanganga, he can also play like center right. Uh, but like, I think in the left back department, we're kind of running thin. Like, okay, we have Theo Hernandez and Ballo Toure as his backup, and then yes, Florenzi can play left back, and we can kind of make players play out of position, but it's not as natural. I feel like. So I think it'd be good. I mean, ideally, but this is not going to happen this mercato. But it'd be nice to get another backup left back. But it's obviously it's not going to happen.
Yeah, the name that was being put around was Diallo, um, who actually is quite good from judging by at least his highlights. Again, going by his highlights, he looked very good. You're right. Like, if Tanganga does come, we will have four players or five players, if you want to put Salamakers in there too, that have the characteristics of playing that right back role. Salamakers, Calabria, Florenzi, Kalulu, and Tanganga. That's five. While on the other side, you have three: Theo Hernandez, Balotelli, and Mr. Florenzi if he has to. So yeah, there's definitely an imbalance there. But one thing about Hernandez, knock on wood, is if that guy does not get injured, he is going to be playing 95% of the games. I do not want to see Florenzi at right back again. No, grazie. What do you mean? Florenzi looked great at right back.
I like Florenzi.
I think Paul is smoking some heavy, heavy, heavy duty stuff right now. Florenzi looked. Maybe he meant left back.
Oh yeah.
Okay, as long as Tanganga is fast, it's okay with me. The rest will Maldini sort out with Tanganga. Fast defender is the most important for me. Fast and aggressive. Okay, let's keep on going. So Rebic. There's something that. Sorry, excuse me. Give me 1 second.
Guys, Roy is back.
Okay, so Rebic. One thing about Rebic is that we've seen him. There's this whole thing about Rebic that's developing. Again, another thing that Pioli always has been saying in these pre-season summer sessions is which players he sees a big difference. The word is coming out that they're seeing a big difference in Rebic's attitude and in his will to do well. Rebic joined the preseason 1 day before, stayed at Milanello, right, the night before, and then to start the preseason. And there's an article here that talks about Rebic. Let me find it. That says that it looks like Rebic really wants to have a good season. He really wants to have a good season, and this is making me believe that I don't think Rebic is going anywhere. And then this goes back to Lang. If Rebic is not going anywhere, then Lang is not coming. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. Um,
Yeah,
so
guys,
let's.
you can forget about that. I'm sorry, but like we're not bringing in Noah Lang because look at our attack: left wing Rebic Lau, that's Lang's main position. Striker Origi, Giroud, Ibra when he comes back. De Ketelaere can play striker. Right wing Messias, Salamakers, whoever. If we bring someone else in, I don't think Lang is a right winger like from what I've seen. So yeah, Cam. We have De Ketelaere, Diaz, Krunic. So it doesn't really look like Lang would. I mean, for the money it would cost to bring him in, it's not really going to happen.
All right, so this is the article. As reported this morning by Tutto Sport, Rebic wants to put last season firmly behind him and move into 2023 with a different attitude, even though the Rossoneri played some good football in the first half when Ibrahimovic and Giroud were out and Rebic was the striker. Yeah, they did. Actually, many people would say that that is when we played our best football, when Rebic was the striker. The first two friendlies against Lemina and Con confirmed that Rebic came back to Milanello with a point to prove. The paper writes that the Croatian returned with a different spirit and immediately appeared very concentrated and eager for redemption. The coaching staff and his teammates have noticed his new attitude, and Stefano Pioli will no doubt be thrilled. Further judgments will be made after the next preseason games, but the signs are certainly positive. So there's no word on him being sold. Rather, what has been coming out for these past weeks is that Rebic wants to kick some serious ass, and we need players that are motivated. We need players that want to kick ass. Rebic at this point is what, going into his 28th year, so these are going to be very important years for Rebic. These are very, he's in his prime essentially physically now. He has reached his prime physically. So, guys, we might have a new signing, and that new signing is Rebic. What do you think? How do you think this saga is going to end, Antonio, with Rebic?
I think Rebic stays. I mean, from what we've seen from him, especially if I think Pioli really likes Rebic. He's like one of those players. I'm not saying I think he's much better than Krunic, but he's one of those players like Krunic in the sense that Pioli really likes them as a person and also believes that when they come on, they do a lot of very good work and like they help the team in whatever way, in their own ways. But I'm not saying that I think Rebic is much better than that. I'm just saying like that's how he's sort of viewed. And so I don't think we're going to be moving him on unless a big offer or like a good offer comes in for him and it's like kind of like okay, it makes sense to let him go, but he's pretty much going to stay this summer, I think. And honestly, I'm happy with that. I think he's very good.
Yeah, the only thing about Rebic, really, the only red flag that I have about Rebic is that the guy is made out of crystal. Like he injures his elbow and he's out 2 months. He breaks a nail and the guy's injured three and he's out for 3 months. That's the only issue I have with Rebic. I mean, it's been 2 years that it's kind of been like this now. Like every time he gets an injury, he's out forever. This is the only issue I have with Rebic. If it happens again this season, then I think Milan should just cut the cord, and do something to let him go. I guess give him a chance this season to redeem himself. I think this is what they're going to try and do. But there's a lot of red flags on how frequent he gets injured and how small the injuries are and how long those small injuries keep him out. Like, what is going on there? But yeah, let's see what happens. He has been looking good in the preseason. All right, so there's an article here. I want to go to the midfielders because we are being proposed, other teams' trash, if you want to put it that way. According to reports in Spain from Fijaes.net, Pianeta Milan, Pjanic is a target for Milan as they look to reinforce their midfield department ahead of 22-23. He is under contract at Barcelona until June 30th, but after a season on loan at Besiktas has become clear he's not part of Xavi's plan. Barca will gladly sell the former Juventus man and there is therefore talk of a possible offer from Milan based on a loan with option to buy deal. The problem is the high salary, but Barca could help by offering to pay part of it. However, according to reports from sports media set, no confirmations have arrived regarding the potential of the Bosnian international making a return to Serie A with Rossoneri, and there are no credible Italian sources reporting the news either. So it looks like his agent is trying to tell the world that Pjanic is on sale. Pjanic needs a new destination. Um, yeah, let's take this one with a pinch of salt. I'm not too sure about Pjanic. I think Pjanic now at this point is going towards the end of his career. Unfortunately, he wasted some of the most important years of his career, of his lifespan as a football player. That age between 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, he wasted those years. So at this point, I hope we do not get Pjanic. The other player that was being offered to us is Wijnaldum. Now, Wijnaldum a little bit different. What do you think about this Pjanic thing? Are you in for it or not?
Hell no. I don't know. Pjanic used to be very good, but we can't be. I would honestly think it's kind of like a slap in the face if we let them take Kessie for free like Barcelona, and then we take this guy from them. Like, come on, that's like I just that just looks bad in my opinion. Like we shouldn't be doing
That would be
that.
terrible.
We should just like go for some prospects. Don't be we just won the league. We can't be picking up trash. Dead weight. Doesn't make sense. You're muted, Roy.
The other player was Wijnaldum that PSG wants to offload. Your dad really liked Wijnaldum as a footballer. I mean, Wijnaldum is like I think he is Holland's captain, if I'm not mistaken. I think he is Holland's captain. Him and Van Dijk, I think, are the two captains, or even Depay. But if I'm not mistaken, in the Euro, Wijnaldum was the captain of the team. Wijnaldum is a different story, I think. Wijnaldum could be interesting. Could be interesting. What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on Wijnaldum? And what about you guys in chat? What do you guys think of Wijnaldum if he were to join Milan?
the problem with Wijnaldum is there's two his wages and his like determination because this season with PSG he started playing and then he because he kind of was getting he gets paid like I think I don't know like 12 million a season. I don't know how much he gets paid, but like 10 million maybe. He kind of lost a lot of his will to play, and I don't know how we're going to be able to get those wages unless PSG can pay them if we take him on loan. But as a player, he's very good. I like him a lot. He's a good midfield presence, and I would take him if I could, guarantee that he would be ready and willing to play. So, yeah, that would be. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, and another player that Milan is being linked to is Van de Beek, based on a potential sale. Check this out. This is not the first time we hear such session. United are in the market for a new midfielder with Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic among the departures already confirmed. And as reported by Calciomercato Web, United are readying a move to sign Benacer. The 24-year-old joined from Empoli during the summer 2019. The report mentions that Milan have set a 45 million asking price for the Algerian international, which does seem to be within United's budget. Though they would also be willing to include Donny van de Beek in the deal to reduce the outlay from a cash point of view. Do we say yes to this? Do we say no? Do we want the cash? Do we want Van de Beek? Or should we just keep Benacer and develop him? I say let's keep Benacer, develop him. I love the way Benacer plays his football. So I'd be all in for that. What do you think? And what do you guys think in chat? And
Yeah. What I will say is, yeah, United are really scrambling because they want a good midfielder, and De Jong is like that's their top target on Barcelona, and it's not looking like that's going to happen because De Jong, I don't know. It's very complicated. It could happen. Like the deal is reached between Barcelona and United, but De Jong wants to stay. So it looks like that is really stalling. And 45 to 50, if it was 50 million, I think it'd be okay to sell him. But that means we have to bring in, like, there's no excuses because that means we would only have one starting pivot midfielder, like in Tonali. And, our other pivot midfielder just would be kind of a younger player that we gamble on our team. Like, I'm not saying they're going to be bad, but it's a big risk. And I think if you make that much money, you have to bring someone in. And the question is, who would you bring in? Because if we're not going to get Sanchez, uh, like, I mean, unless we can go for Thuram, but PSG weren't able to get him. Like, there's not really too many players you can feel safe in bringing in. So I think it's a good offer. It's fair for Benacer, but I don't know if we want to gamble that because if we lose too many pieces, then a lot of our progress can kind of be undone. So it's as a team. So we need to make sure we keep our important players. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't really want to get rid of him, but it depends. I don't. But as for Van de Beek, really quickly, I'm surprised by this because I know Ten Hag really likes him because of the Ajax connection, and he was a very good player in Ajax. Um, I think he's good, but his confidence has been rocked in England like hard, and he basically like I don't know if this is the right setting for him and it'll work out. So it's kind of unclear how good he'll be with us. But yeah, so I think I would prefer to keep Benacer here.
Yeah, and the question though is, does Benacer want to stay? Does Benacer want to renew? Because if he says no, then I think we really have to look into let's make some money out of this operation rather than do what we did with Kesir, Magnoli, Donnarumma, and Hakan. So I guess that is something that we'll need to find out. My Spider-Man senses are telling me that this is the prelude to contract renewal talks. That in these upcoming days, Milan is going to we're going to start hearing on the reports how Milan is trying to um, get what's his name Benacer's renewal going.
Yeah.
So we'll find out this out. We'll find this out before the summer ends.
Hey guys, two pieces of breaking news.
Oh shit, go for it.
And I'm sorry guys, it's not good. uh okay, two news sources just confirmed this. Vitiello and Daniele Longo. Vitiello's very, very reliable. Longo's pretty reliable. Not the most, but he is. Vitiello says, giornata interlocutoria tra Milan e Bruges per De Ketelaere. Um, and I'll translate after. Ancora un po' di resistenza sul giocatore da parte del club belga. Situazione in evoluzione. Milan sempre fiducioso di arrivare al talento classe 2001. Basically, there's a resistance. Club Bruges is still playing hardball in negotiations for De Ketelaere, and today not much progress was made in the negotiation. So today is not looking like things are going to happen, and things are still. But he says that there's still optimism, so it's just kind of keeps getting stalled. Also, let me pull up what Longo tweeted. Let me just find this. Um, Let me pull this up. Bye bye CDK. And there's a little bit of good, I guess, good, like some positives. Longo says there wasn't any advances today for between Bruges and Milan for Ketelaere. Contacts that didn't really bring any new aspects to the situation. The feeling is that the chess match for him is like at a standstill with their two offers that were put on the table already. And tomorrow there should be new contacts again, and so that sounds a bit more concerning because it looks like Milan may not be wanting to increase their offer again, up to 35 million for De Ketelaere. And if that's true, I mean this is Longo, so it's the less reliable compared to Vitiello. That could be a problem. So not the best news.
It was strange that this morning when I woke up, there was no news whatsoever regarding CDK. So now we know why. They have not come to an agreement yet. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in the next between tomorrow, between today. Still, no, I guess today is done. Between tomorrow and the day after. Again, maybe it's another case of next week, beginning of next week, and it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. All right, let's go to chat a little bit. Let's see what chat is saying.
Wait, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Longo tweeted that about Tanganga, there could be a meeting with Paratici very soon, and the agents are confirmed to be going to Casa Milan to discuss this. So that is basically, once again, it's been reiterated. So
Yeah, yeah. Dino Rusic says 20 million plus Van der Beek. I would take it without blinking. Signing, yeah. Vasil says, what's up, Vasil? Says he would be okay with that transfer, talking about Benacer and Van de Beek. Benacer is staying. Pioli expects a lot from him this season. Now, Pioli did say that about Benacer in his first conference. He said that he's expecting a lot from Benacer. He did actually say that. Ten Hag knows what he's doing, so they don't think he's going to be selling Van de Beek. 45 plus a player in a position that we need is very tempting. Well, it wouldn't be 45 plus the player. It'd be less with addition of a player. I don't even think Benacer wants to stay. It is the right settling. Antonio Dutch players at Milan are match made in heaven. Van de Beek. Well, is it really? Because when we got Kluivert, Reisinger, and we got Davids and another guy. It didn't work out back then. Okay, let's keep on going. We need to keep Benacer. We can't lose two of our double pivot. Man, in one session Mercato, that is a good point, Majidin. Losing both our double pivots in one session Mercato, then that means we would have to revolutionize the midfield. That is not good to rebuild the midfield. I definitely agree, but we might have to do that if we want to monetize on Benacer if he doesn't renew. I need Laird to fight. Change my mood. Laird loves to fight. That is for sure. I told you Bruges once more. Leeds still offered more money, but CDK is probably still coming. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Ziyech. There was a report talking about Ziyech, and it's still the same. 5 million for the option, 5 million for the loan, 20 million for option to buy. Ziyech right now in the US with the team. Now, during this last week, Vitiello and these guys were saying that if CDK is coming, that means Ziyech is not coming. If Ziyech is coming, that means CDK is not coming. So I've not heard anyone talk about both of them are coming, but this is what we have today. According to a report from Football.London, the Premier League side are open to selling Ziyech this summer should they receive a bid they deem acceptable. They add that Ziyech is open to the idea of a move after struggling for playing time under Thomas Tuchel. The report adds that the figures being discussed are 5 million for a season-long loan plus 20 to make it a permanent deal. All parties are keen to get things done with Ziyech looking for a new start. Again, this one here seems like it's coming, it's going. One day it's in, one day it's out. This has to be one of the most confusing summer mercatos I've ever experienced. For real, and especially coming from winning a league, I expected a much stronger calciomercato.
It's annoying because with the money with the revenues we've generated, we should be able to sign. And people, when I say this, like people think I'm crazy, but we should be able to sign the Ketelaere for 35 million at Cam, Ziyech on loan with an obligation to buy on the right wing, a central midfielder, and like Tanganga or like another center back that we can pull up. And we should be able to make those things happen with our budget. Like, like that's like we just won the league. We qualified for Champions League. We made a lot of sales. We have the sale revenue, and we've dropped wages. Uh, we fixed Ibra's wages. We've, you know, Kessie is gone. We should be getting a replacement for Kessie, in my opinion. All of these things should be happening, but I guess I'm crazy for thinking that.
Yeah, it is so strange when everything is so difficult. I mean, I think with CDK, if I remember reading correctly, Leeds accepted of 37 million, right? All right, whatever.
Yeah,
Just give him the extra 2 million. Get it over with. Just get this over with. Like, why is this taking so long? I think that this club, the way the finances are set, that even if a price goes beyond, let's say, uh, 500K plus, like they're going to say no, no, we're not willing to spend 35 and a half. It's very strange how things are being done right now, and it's very concerning. I gotta say, it's very concerning, and I wonder what kind of impact this has on the players in the team themselves, especially with this comment here. Hey guys, in an upcoming session, can you speak about the opposition's mercato so the fan base can have an idea of what we're up against next season, especially seeing how the other teams are operating and making things happen. Watching Milan is right now is like it's like watching paint dry. It's like watching paint dry. Um, the Sanchez thing looks like it turned into a disaster. We waited too long on that. Botman, we got outbid by Newcastle. CDK, now it's been 2 weeks almost, or 3 weeks, and we can't just give him give him the extra million and get this over with. Because the more you wait, the more these other targets are going in other places. For example, Dybala. Dybala now we lost the train on Dybala. Some people say thank God, but it's not going to just be Dybala. It's going to be all these other players. Um, these other teams are making moves. Roma got Dybala. Napoli got Vicha for free. Damn it, for free. Damn it. You know,
yeah,
and Juventus, they're doing their things. They're just about to sell Delete for 75 million. They're going to, Juventus does not mess around. Juventus does not mess around. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't know, 35 or 37. I don't know. For them, it's they're not going to do that. So Inter are pretty pissed off right now because they lost Dybala. Dybala was a target for Inter, and they might be losing Bremer because Juventus looks like they are in pole position as far as Bremer now. So our opposition are making moves, and this is a season where we start early. We're starting 2 weeks earlier than usual. Our opposition is already preparing for the next season with the new players, and we are here like trying to make life decisions at the gas station, kind of thing. So it's a very concerning mercato at this point. It is what it is, and it's hard to hide. It's really hard for me to hide that. It's really hard for me to hide that. Anyway, Dybala landed in Rome. Roma Delete landed in Bayern. There you go. Hey Roy, don't you think this year's top 4 fight will be tougher considering Roma's summer transfer? Oh yeah, absolutely. Also because all the teams are, as I said a million times, all the other teams have is going to be their second year in the projects as far as the coaches and whatever the project the coaches are pushing. Sarri is going to be his second year. Lazio is going to be stronger. Uh, Juventus, Allegri, their second year with the Mercato, we're going to be stronger. Inter is going to be stronger. Roma is going to be stronger. All these teams are going to be stronger, but we are going to be stronger too. So it's not an issue. But my issue is just this Calcio Mercato is so underwhelming that it's very hard for me to hide it. I don't know, Antonio. What do you think? Do you feel the same way, or are you a little bit more optimistic, or how do you feel?
my optimism is been on decline for a while now. Just things aren't going our way. First, it was the management situation. Then it's PSG luring Sanchez, even though they don't really want him. It's Sanchez. Like being delusional about PSG. Uh, then it's freaking this Ketelaere situation. Like, I don't know. It's been too much stuff, too much stress. Like, we should not be stressing out. This was a good year for us. Why do we always have to suffer so much? Can we just bring in our targets? So yeah, my optimism. I don't know what's going to happen anymore. I'm sorry. Like, I can't really be confident. Um, I will say that the team is still there, so there's always optimism that we're going to be, competitive. But we can't really risk, losing players without replacing quality players. So this whole ownership situation, everything, we better get it sorted out very soon.
Yeah, and then to add to all of this is like the renewal of Leao. Like we know that we have this salary cap in our team, and Leao is another problem. But he's asking for I mean Koulibaly is making what 10 million net at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So it's not like we are the only ones that read these reports, right? Like
Right.
Leao sees it. Oh, this guy just went to Chelsea. He's
And
making
his
10 million.
agent sees it, Mendes, of
Yes,
course.
and his agent sees it. So it's a very, very difficult. It's a very difficult calcio mercato for us. Very difficult. Mustafa says, "Why do we go after players with price tags we know we're not going to pay and spend months negotiation trying to make the other club sell for low? It just makes me sick. It's the worst mercato ever. Other teams sign top players, and we have only a free agent right now, and they waste months on players that go to other clubs in the end." It's definitely not the Galliani era. The Galliani era.
Monza's making moves, by the way.
Oh yeah, very. Monza's making lots of moves. Yeah, August is around the corner, and we're still here with basically the same team as last season, minus Kessie. Minus Kessie. I say the same thing. Stop wasting time and do some real scouting. Half of us here can find better players. CDK is not even worth the 30 million price. He only has a good season last season and an average season before that. Why are we spending so much on a very young player when players like Alvarez cost 17 million? True. Maybe they're waiting for other teams to make their moves. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know if that's going to help in the long run, though. The attack is simply not good enough. It's so obvious, yet they're haggling over pennies. Who do we blame now? Maldini, Redbird, Gazidis, Roy? Who do we blame? I don't know. I guess Elliot. Elliot's policies right now. That's who you have to blame. That's it. Elliot's policies. At this point, we're just the gift that keeps on giving. Just joined the stream. The news about Zlatan saying another year was the best thing I heard. This guy, Amir, just joined the stream, and we're being extremely negative in this point. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. Milan is a team that makes you suffer, and you have to learn how to suffer. In order to win, you have to know how to suffer. Paul blames me. Guys, if I was in charge of the finances, I'll tell you who I would have gotten so far. I would have gotten Nkunku for sure. Nkunku for sure. I would have gotten Bremer. I would have gotten, I guess, Sanches. And my striker probably would have been Darwin Núñez. Even though the Darwin Núñez thing looks a little bit strange because it looks like in England they're all laughing at this player. I did see some of his highlights with Liverpool. Yeah, they look kind of poor, but the numbers last season did not lie. Did not lie. Did not lie. Is the if it's 300 million revenue, we should be okay at least about spending 80 million net. Anyway, yeah. All right, guys, let's talk about Bakayoko. This is crazy, guys. What happened with Bakayoko? ESPN. This was on ESPN, and check this out. So, the incident involving the AC Milan midfielder who is on loan from Chelsea happened 2 weeks ago. This happened 2 weeks ago, but a video of it went viral on Monday after being posted on Twitter. Basically, there was a video of Bakayoko being stopped by the police, and there was concerning footage of the police pointing guns inside the car. I don't know who they're pointing guns at, but that looked very concerning. And essentially, there was a shooting in that area, Um, and this is what the police statement said. Um, it should be noted that the search occurred in an operational context that justified the adoption of the highest security measures, the statement read, also as a function of self protection, and it was carried out in a manner absolutely consistent with the type of alarm in progress. Once the person had been identified, and it had been established that he was not involved, the service was resumed without any kind of remark from the person concerned. Um, it was very concerning images there. Um, so I don't know what to make out of this. I really don't know what to make out of it. I wonder if there's going to be any official statements. But this was 2 weeks ago, so this happened 2 weeks ago, right? It looked like it happened a few days ago, but this happened 2 weeks ago. We have seen Bakayoko in these 2 weeks. He didn't seem alarmed, and he didn't seem. He seemed fine. He seemed okay. But I wonder if Milan is going to make any official statements about this. What do you make out of this, sometime?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's too serious. I mean, I don't know. I have to hear what Bakayoko says about it before I can judge. But I don't think it's. I think it's just kind of like an unfortunate situation. Um, I feel like it won't be make too much headlines anymore. But that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah, if this happened 2 weeks ago, maybe Bakayoko would have already said something about it. But yeah, the footage definitely looks concerning. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so let's move on. I think we're done, honestly, for today. We've said everything about the negotiations and everything that is happening. Another slow day of news. Another uneventful day of news. Nunez is having a poor time adapting probably, but he should still be good throughout the season. Yeah, I agree. Management has to find a way to increase belief in the project. Now Benacer and Lara are taking forever to renew as well. By the way, I've been watching the Juventus trainings. Um,
Of course, you have.
well, I watch Inter, Juventus, Roma, Milan, and those teams in particular, and Napoli, and I also watch Napoli. I gotta say, out of all the teams, Juventus looks like they're getting ready for war. Like it looks like they're getting ready for war. Not Milan looks like a family. They look more like a family, and they look more like you know. Whoa, there's one noise.
Sorry, Jesus.
Milan looks more like a family kind of. I'm gonna. I'm telling you, there's a shitload of noise coming out from.
It's just I was just playing with this bottle because I was drinking water and then.
Yeah, Milan looks more like a family. Family. Like it looks. The team looks very connected, and they look like they're preparing in a good way. Not as intense as Juventus. Inter more similar to Milan, and Roma and Napoli, just doing their thing. But the team that looks like they're getting ready for war is Juventus. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't really mean anything. I still think that Milan today is the best team. Not the best roster, but still the best team. And that family, that bond, that grouping, is the most important thing in football. As a matter of fact, one of Italy's the national team strengths is not necessarily the talent of the players, but is that ability to bond together as brothers, as a family, and then fight together. I'm seeing that from Milan. That is what wins you championships. Juventus just look like they're getting ready for war. Very, very, very organized trainings. Everybody looks like a soldier. It's going to be a strong season for Juventus, I'm feeling. But we're going to have a strong season too. It's going to go up until the end. It's going to go up until the end. The renewal will come, guys. I trust the management. I think it will come to in the end. I think it will come to in the end. And I think both Leo and Benacer are going to renew. I think. Let's see. Pogba and Di Maria are game changers. Jesus, I just saw the video about Bakayoko. A female police officer was pointing the gun toward the car, and another guy was searching Bakayoko. There was two police officers pointing the guns in the car. Like, who were they pointing the guns? I hope it wasn't Bakayoko. I don't know if he's married or what. I hope it wasn't his wife. I mean, come on. What the hell? That doesn't do anything because Juve was training the same in their TV show All or Nothing, and guess what? Milan whooped their ass 3-0. Um, yeah, well, I did not see the kind of. I follow these teams all year round, and I gotta admit, I did not see this kind of focus and intensity last year. This focus that I'm seeing from them is different.
Roy.
What's up?
Also, the 3-0 was with Pirlo, right? Wasn't he coaching?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not worried about Juve, guys. I'm just saying. I'm just commenting on their trainings. That's it. My impression was like these guys are getting ready for war, and that's it. I was so bored that I decided to watch that show. Regrets. Oh, dude, I did not like that show. We got Luigi Timpani. What's up, Luigi Timpano? How you doing? All right, Antonio. What else do we have? Anything from the Twitter sphere?
I don't think so. This is just a disappointment. We can talk about Serie A though, in general.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Serie A. Go ahead.
De Ligt is going to Bayern Munich.
Yep, they're making a lot of money. 75 million for a volleyball player. I don't know how they're pulling that off. We can't freaking sell any of our players. Kessi free. Romagnoli free. All our players free. These guys sell Delete, one of the worst defenders I've seen in Serie A in these past years. A guy that cost Juventus probably 12 points this season. He cost them their qualification into the next round of the Champions League. This guy always concedes penalties. 75 million to 85 million for this? Well, I don't know. Roy, are you happy about Bremer joining Juve and not Inter? No, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I wanted Bremer to join Milan. I'm very disappointed that we did not get Bremer in the end. What else is there about the Serie A?
Well, Dybala, but we kind of already discussed this. But yes, Dybala's going to Roma, 6 million a season. And honestly, I think it's just because, no offense to Roma, but no one else really, like barely anyone besides Monza tabled an offer that was anywhere like near what he wanted. So that's where he's going to end up playing.
He has chosen the number 21, so Dybala will be playing with the number 21. I mean, so I don't know what to expect from Roma. Plays a similar style Marini plays a similar style to Allegri, so it's mostly counter-attack football. I saw a formation, I think, in the group chat, a 4-2-3-1, with Zaniolo on one side, Dybala in the attacking midfield, Pellegrini on the other side, Abraham. That's a very good quartet, if you ask me, if he keeps Zaniolo. But I do think that... oh, yeah, there's already pictures of Delete in Germany, by the way, greeting the fans. But I do think that Dybala going to Roma opens the doors for Zaniolo to leave. So let's see what happens with the Zaniolo saga too. But let's say if Roma does keep Dybala, Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Abraham, and that's their first four in that 4-2-3-1, I mean that's a sick 4-2-3-1. They have Matic and Cristante in the double pivot. Spinazzola is back. You know, they have a very good squad. If Zaniolo stays.
I will say this though, Roma will be good next season, but I'm still not convinced. Even with that 11, I mean, they could challenge for top 4, of course, but I'm not convinced that they're gonna, be crazy because their wing backs or their fullbacks and their defenders do not convince me, and their goalkeeper is like kind of a little bit older.
Well, Spinazzola is tough.
Well, yeah, okay, Spinazzola is very good, but
the other guys, I agree with you. Yeah.
Also, it depends how he does. Coming back from his injury, of course.
Yeah, I mean he's already been playing, but he still needs a lot of time to recover. But the issue with Roma is the depth. They have no depth. They lack a lot of depth, and they're strong not to challenge for the Scudetto, but to challenge for top 4, 100%. one or
I'm
the other.
happy. I mean, the Serie A is always going to be competitive, which is good. Like I just am still scared that all like the top players eventually leave because like there is competition. Like Fiorentina, they're reinforcing. Lazio reinforcing. Roma look very good. Inter's reinforcing. Juventus is reinforcing. Milan is not doing anything, but we won the league, so we'll be up there. But there's we're reinforcing, but then eventually our the top players just leave. So that's the negative aspect of this. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition.
It's going to be a six Scudetto race. It's going to be a six Scudetto race. This is going to be one of the best seasons in general, Serie A seasons that we have seen in many, many years. I've never seen Serie A so competitive. Even though we are losing some great, well, I don't consider him a great player. I mean, Koulibaly, yeah, we are losing a great player, but all these teams look stronger to me, and I think this is going to be a season that is going to be incredibly entertaining in the Serie A, but in Europe, we're going to start to see a renaissance of Italian football in Europe, because when the Serie A becomes as competitive as this, it helps the teams playing Europe do better. So I'm expecting a good season in Europe as well. Good campaign from all the Italian teams. The Conference League, who's in the conference? Is it Fiorentina?
Yes.
I don't expect Fiorentina to win the Conference League. I did expect Roma to win the Conference League with Mourinho, but I'm not expecting
Well,
Fiorentina to win the.
yeah, I agree. But honestly, if we do that, that would be very good. Like,
That'd be great. If Fiorentina wins the conference, it'd be great for Serie A. Europa League, it's Lazio and Roma, correct?
yes.
Yeah, maybe Mourinho can pull it off again in the Europa League. Maybe he can. I mean, it's much more difficult because then he has to face the Champions League teams that get third spot in the groups. But maybe he can pull it off in the Europa League. In Europe, I think Milan is going to be able to go through the group stages, and I think Milan can go far because if Milan plays with the Milan spirit and the Milan mentality, they can go very far. I think Juventus doesn't have any excuses to not go far. I mean, they never have any excuses, but they never go far. But this year, come on, how can Juventus not go far in the Champions League this year? Inter looked good last year with Liverpool. Hopefully, they can fix this because they have a really stupid mentality. And then Napoli. Napoli usually has done okay in the Champions League, but I'm not expecting much from them. What are you expecting from the Italian teams in Europe?
Milan should pass the group stage of the Champions League. This is realistic. Inter should pass the group. Well, Inter, I don't know if they're going to be a pot three or a pot two team. Inter should at
I
least.
think they're pot three.
Yeah, I think so as well. It depends on their group, honestly, but they should either pass the group stage or be in the Europa League. It depends on if they get two great teams. Um, Napoli is top four as well. I don't know. I'm not convinced about Napoli because they lost a lot of players and it's not easy to bring them back. I can see them going to into the Europa League in the Champions League group or getting eliminated. It depends how hard their group is once again. And Juventus, they'll pass the group stage, but like us, I don't think that though. I mean, realistically, we can expect them to go too far right away. Um, I mean, I know this is kind of pessimistic, but like for as of now, we have to be realistic based on our expectations. But we can always be surprised. And then in the Europa League, I'd say Lazio and Roma can go far in the Europa League. I think Roma are more equipped to challenge for it, but I don't think that they're going to necessarily win. There's a couple of there's usually one or two very good teams in there as well, and it's going to be difficult for Roma to win, but they can make the semis or quarterfinals. Lazio could maybe fall a bit short, and I mean shorter than Roma. Like they're not going to challenge for it. And I think Fiorentina can make it far in the Conference League. I don't. It depends. I think the English side that's going is West Ham, so that's the English side that's going to be in the Conference League. And West Ham are a good side. I think Fiorentina. I think they're better than Fiorentina, if I'm being honest with you. But they
That's it. West Ham.
well, that's just like the English team that I'm thinking. I have to look at the other. I feel like in Spain it's probably like a Real Betis or
Yeah.
something like that. Like you don't really. We have to see, but
Yeah, another thing about the Conference League is that, kind of like how in the Champions League teams get demoted into the Europa League, same thing happens. Europa League teams that I think get third in their group stages get demoted into the Conference League.
yeah, but those teams usually aren't too dangerous. Like the third place Europa
Yeah,
League
usually,
teams,
but
but
not.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm expecting a decent year for Italian football. I'm really
What are
am.
your expectations like for like Champions League? Like
I would not be surprised if we see at least one Italian team in the semifinals. I would not be
oh my
of
gosh.
the Champions League. I would not be surprised at all. And that team could be AC Milan, by the way, but probably Juve. And I wouldn't even be surprised if I see two teams in the semifinals. Um, yeah, also because I just don't rate the current state of football in Europe very highly. I really don't. I don't see much competition in Europe at this moment. I don't see any teams that are impressing me.
So you don't. So you think when we played Liverpool, they weren't like impressive enough when we like they destroyed
I
us?
think that is not a good example because Liverpool is a very experienced team in the Champions League, while we are not. But if Liverpool were to face us today, it wouldn't be as simple for Liverpool as it was. You know, it wouldn't be as simple. And also, we saw how Inter played against Liverpool. Liverpool kind of escaped that one by the skin of their teeth. Um, and Juventus can always pull something out of their ass if they have to. I'm not very impressed with the state of European football in this current moment. I think this is the best time for Italy to take this opportunity. Yeah. Um, Alan says we're worse than last season because we lost Kessie. I don't care what people say, but Kessie was great for us. I think me and you agree on this, but a lot of people don't. You agree with this, right, Antonio?
Yeah, we are. I mean, especially today. The thing is, yes, our players can develop, right? We can develop, and they're going to be growing and all this stuff. But another comment, like, if even if we develop, what if we could actually replace our players and or keep them, and on top of that, also develop players? Then we'd be an even better team. It's only logic. So that'd be nice for once. Maybe not lose all our best players for free and you know, I mean, I'm happy at least with Donnarumma. We replaced him with Manyan. Çalhanoğlu was never replaced, and I'm still concerned about that. Until now, we get Ketelaer, maybe we replace him, but that's a problem. Um, if we replace Kessie, that would be nice, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen really. So it's very concerning.
Yep, yep. Let's talk about Gabia a little bit. I didn't see this article. Here it says Gabia could be sent out on loan if Tanganga comes. So there you go. Marco Giampaolo Sampdoria is a team in poll to land the defender. Well, he looked good in these preseason games. He looked really good. I thought. I was very impressed. You know what? I completely forgot to ask people to like the page. So I'm pretty sure that today we don't have many likes. But if you are still here, click that like button. It doesn't hurt you. And also, if you click that like button, it proves that you're a Milanista, not an Interista, not a Juventino, like how people accuse me of being a Juventino. Antonio, do you think it is fair for people to accuse me of being a Juventino?
Yes, I have the chats, bro. I have the evidence. You have a Del
Oh
Piero
no.
shirt behind that Milan shirt in your room.
No, I have my Del Piero shirt is in the closet.
Yeah, just like how you're a closet Juventus fan. That's
All right. Anything else?
I don't know. I wish we could have some good conversations, have some fun, but about
Yeah,
Milan. But there's nothing to freaking talk about. So,
yeah, yeah. Do you still think Milan is going to change their formation?
maybe they can make some tactical adjustments, but I don't see Pioli very often. Changing from a 4-2-3-1. Depends. I mean, we should probably sometimes, but it takes a really good coach to manage that and to know when to switch. So we have to see if we're comfortable with that.
Are you disappointed with Dybala?
No, I don't
You
give a shit about Dybala. I'm sorry. He's good. I wouldn't mind if we got him, but I would. The Ketelaere is very good as well, and I'm fine with the Ketelaere. Um, and yeah, I mean Dybala is just on Roma. I think he'll be decent, but it's not going to scare me.
um yeah, yeah. I don't, even though I rate Dybala very highly, I think that under Pioli's system, you need someone that is going to do the press. It's just the way he operates. I think Dybala under Pioli would have been not the best. Did Red John do the vlog? No, because and his excuse was that there was no internet, as if you need internet to press play on your phone and record and record a video. Pobega is not a replacement to Kessie, at least not in experience. We need to give Pobega some time to still develop more of Kessie's. Yeah, Dybala going to be doing a lot of cardio in Mourinho's system. Well. All right, guys. So I think we're good for today. I think we've said everything we needed to say. Unfortunately, guys, I was really hoping that today was going to be the CDK day, but nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. Anything from Di Marzio and Romano?
Not about Milan. Not like I'm always scouting those pages. But.
And and what about? Okay, let's finish on international news. Anything? Anything there? Anything interesting?
Red John.
Actually, I have a question for you. What do you think of Barcelona and their project? I think Barcelona is building a super kick-ass project.
I don't like Barcelona.
Why not?
I don't know. I think like the way they're trying to avoid their debt is. I mean, yeah, keep buying all these players, but I don't know. I just like it just hurts me to see them do this with while Milan is trying to promote sustainability and things like that. So I mean, I just don't believe in that formula, and it could be costly in the future for them. But yeah, on paper they look like they're like an amazing team. So whatever, good for them, I guess. We'll see if it can sustain in the long term, but
Lewandowski, Kessie, Christensen, Rafinha. I mean, that's pretty good. Come on, Antonio. I mean,
no. Well, of course,
Antonio,
they're good players.
Compare that to our Mercato. Like, how can you compare the two?
Yeah, no, I know. Based on the players, of course, it's amazing. But it's like they're operating like PSG, but except a little bit less money spent, but still money. But they're like bringing all these star players, but good. But like, I mean, good luck in the future. Like I don't like this sort of model that they're promoting with this. They don't have the wealth of an entire nation like PSG and City. So.
PSG, on the other hand, does not look very. I think the coach.
I'd like to explain this actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
PSG is doing something. I don't like PSG because they're still like now they're trying to be subtle. They're like, yeah, we have all this money still, but we're not gonna overspend. But I think that even though they have all the money, it's good that they finally are learning the lesson, and not saying that they're not being sustainable because they're still spending a bunch on wages and they're spending money like way more than what we could spend because like they brought the striker in for 30 million, just that striker. They're trying to get Stringer for 70 million, so they're still going to spend a lot of money, but they're being more, at least they're using more of their brain with this, like with Campos and Galtier, and they're like discussing this, and they're not just splashing cash on all the best players without making any sense. So this is actually good, I think. And honestly, if they're more successful this year because of this, then I think it's good for the world, like football in the world because it shows that you're not just going to go and splurge all your money on star players and win. It's you have to be calculated, and I think that it only like with Milan's success this year and PSG's cut back on limitless spending, I think it's good. And I'm not trying to praise PSG. I don't like PSG, but I'm finally at least they're not just like overspending like like on all these like old players that are like paying not only paying high wages but huge transfer fees on players that don't really fit their system. Like that's stupid and that shouldn't really be promoted.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to want to fix the whole Leonardo circus act for sure. Galtier looks like a much more, you know, prepared coach for France, so he could be a problem. A lot of people talk really well about Galtier, so he could become an issue. Where do you see PSG? How do you see PSG doing in the Champions League?
In the Champions League, they're one of those teams that every year they can fight for it all, but it depends on what because they have on paper they're there, like they have a good team. That's the first step. They have a good coach now, so I think at least semifinals for PSG.
If Milan were to face PSG in the second round, who do you think would win?
Right now PSG would win. But we haven't even seen their new coach play. So, but I like their coach based on what I know. He's a smart coach. He won with Lille, and I think he and Campos is good. And like their squad is basically already almost complete. They're deep. They're gonna maybe get rid of Kimpembe, but they're bringing in Skriniar. They're gonna have Marquinhos. They have the best front three probably. Yeah, they did lose Di Maria, but I think they'll still be fine. And yeah, I think Mbappe is just a big threat in the Champions League in an open game against us, especially against like a Calabria who sometimes struggles against those players. So that would be a lot of difficulty. So I think that they would have to be the favorites in that game.
On paper, yeah.
Yeah, well, we need to improve our attack. If you
Uh,
want.
Agelos Pasco says, "What's your opinion on the striker guys? Giroud is a killer, but I don't expect more than 10, 15 goals. Well, Origi won't. We don't know yet. I do think we might need an extra option there. Uh, yeah, maybe. Well, CDK in Bruges plays mostly as a striker, so let's put CDK in there if he comes too. Maybe Belotti if he joins, but I don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't see that happening. All right, so guys, we're done for today. We have spoken about everything that has come out today in the news. Unfortunately, no fireworks. Just another day of watching paint dry in the AC Milan universe as far as the Calciomercato goes. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Any predictions for tomorrow? Antonio, what do you think? What are your predictions for tomorrow?
Like Mercato predictions, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Ketelaere news, but I don't think that we're going to conclude for him tomorrow. I'm going to be pessimistic. Maybe by Wednesday, it should be done. But there's still some more work to go. It depends on how positive the news is tomorrow that we make progress on this. But I did read that we want to get him like this week because, for the training and the friendlies, we have another friendly on Saturday. So it'd be good to bring him in now, but it's not really going well. So let's see.
Last thing, actually, then let's close is Ronaldo. Looks like Ronaldo might be joining Atletico Madrid. That's where the reports are saying about him today. Um, does that make Atletico Madrid more competitive? I mean, they're losing Suarez and we're replacing him with Ronaldo. Ronaldo 37 at this point. Huge marketing.
Wait, CR7 to Atletico Madrid?
Yeah.
Wait, that's not actually happening.
It's not official, But basically, Cristiano has been linked with a shock return to La Liga, although it is not with Real Madrid, but with the arch nemesis Atletico. Spanish outlet Diario AS have reported the player could be on his way to city rivals Atletico Madrid in what will be a dagger to the hearts of Los Blancos. The 37-year-old sent shockwaves through the footballing world after he requested a transfer away from Eric Ten Hag's United this summer, although he is not quite drawn the attention he may have hoped for. This is just the reports that are claiming he might be joining Atletico Madrid. That's it. All right. Any opinions on that?
What's up, bro? I think I cut out there.
Yeah. No. Just yeah. Him possibly joining Atletico Madrid. I don't care. I honestly don't care what Ronaldo does at this point. I don't care. All right, listen. Let's close. Let's close for today. Let's get back at it tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, we have some official news. We definitely need it. One other thing, Antonio, have you did Milan release any training videos today? Have you checked?
Let me check, but I feel like there was a video, like there was something posted. But let me check if it's a training video. There was a video that I saw on Twitter of like the Colm player perspective, like
Yeah,
first person. That was cool.
yeah.
Well, they posted an Ibrahimovic video. Let me see. They posted a behind the scenes video of Colm that
Oh,
you can
cool.
watch.
10-minute video, guys. Check that out. That's gonna be fun.
That's it. I don't see any training.
All right. I did read the report that everybody's at training today. So there
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
All right, guys. Having said that, thank you very much for joining us. Click the like button on your way out. Forza Top 6 with Redbird. Where where can I find their training videos? You have to be a member of the YouTube channel.
It's
Pay.
the tier one. There's two tiers. Tier one, 99 cents a month. I think tier two is like $3. I don't know, like $3 to $4. I don't, maybe $2, somewhere in that range. For tier one, you get all the training videos and like some like behind the scenes stuff. And then for tier two, you get like full matches. But I don't need that because I already have like the I mean the full matches can be found on like whatever provider if you actually have a provider to watch the games on, so it's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, the so yeah, you can watch all the trainings. Like I mean, they don't post all of them. I wish they would post every single training and like have more consistent content, but or at least live stream some. But they don't do that. But they post it like every like a couple, maybe like two a week or something like that. But yeah.
For tier 3, you get to enjoy Bunga Bunga parties, guys. Confirmed by Skillard. Do you know what Bunga Bunga parties are?
Sort of.
Bunga Bunga parties were like these sex orgy parties that Berlusconi used to organize with his
Yeah,
political.
like he was accused of that, right? With like some young people.
Oh, he confirmed it.
Oh,
Oh, the young people. Yeah, that was an accusation, but he confirmed that he would do that. He would like say it out loud. He had no problem. Berlusconi had no problem like saying yeah, yeah, and Berlusconi was quite a crazy guy. Anyway, let's um let's close for today.
yo, I'm just reading a bit about this stuff. Oh my god! Listen to some this one news source on USA Today. This woman was like interviewing about these parties, and she said she said that there was a woman dressed as President Barack Obama at the Boonga Boonga parties
Oh my god.
for some sort of like fantasy. I don't know.
Oh my god. I'm telling you, the people that run the planet are the fucking weirdest people on Earth. They're all fucking weirdos. All right, guys, listen. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next year. Next year. We'll see you next year, yeah. We'll see you next year. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day wherever you are. Forza Milan. Peace out. Peace in.
Stay safe.